Really, it's a violation of justice to allow a criminal to go free with his crimes unpunished. A penalty must be paid for justice to be satisfied. But Jesus, our advocate, our defense attorney, is right beside us telling the judge that our fine has already been paid. The blood of Jesus Christ cleanses us from all sin, and all of the hell that Satan wishes upon us, Jesus already bore for us, and God is faithful to honor that payment. He is just to forgive us those sins, and that is how he can be both just and the justifier of them which trust in Jesus Christ. Years ago, I read Carl Sandburg's Life of Lincoln, and in there he tells about how Lincoln had a soft heart for military deserters. He understood that to keep discipline in the ranks, he understood the rationale behind executing deserters, and he couldn't fault it, but something inside him just didn't like it, and everybody knew that he was a soft touch. If you could go to Lincoln and you could come up with any rationale to pardon a man who had deserted, Lincoln would give in to it because he understood why, but his heart it grieved him. One day a man came to Lincoln and said, "A friend of mine has asked me to come as his advocate and ask you to pardon him. Here's his story. He did join the Union Army to go down and fight the Confederates, but he was assigned to kitchen duty behind the lines. And he never went to see any combat. That wasn't what he signed up for. He didn't want to just do kitchen duty and feed the army. He wanted to be on the front lines. He wanted to actually do the fighting. So he deserted. He deserted. He went back to his hometown, and he got a group of men. He raised his own cavalry unit and went back into battle where he could fight. And as they were crossing a bridge, his cavalry unit was fired upon. He was wounded. He was carried to the rear to a hospital where it was there discovered that he had previously deserted from a group doing kitchen duty, and now he's to be shot. Lincoln listened without giving any apparent interest, but then he said when the man was all done, "You tell me he was shot crossing the bridge?" "Yes, sir, Mr. President, that is correct." "So what you're saying is he shed blood for his country?" "Well, yes, sir, Mr. President, he did." "Isn't there something in the Bible about the shedding of blood being the remission of sins?" "Why, yes, sir, Mr. President, I believe there is." "Well, then if it's in the Bible, who are we to go against God's higher authority? Your man is pardoned, of course." Of course, that man was pardoned because he had shed his own blood. But in the court of God, your blood isn't good enough. It isn't holy enough. It would take something infinitely holy. It would take the blood of God himself, which Jesus shed, to make your pardon possible.